My name is Rita David. I, my chief name is Demex. I am sister to Chief Gistewe, Red Tom. I am a Wet'suwet'en woman, and I'm out here to stand behind our warrior women, Molly and Frida. This sort of thing did not stop from the 1800s when they're pushing us off the lands. It happened as early as the 50s when I was a little girl. There was a strip of town in Smithers that they called Indian Town. And I was one of my family, the Tom family, was one of the families that got burnt out of Smithers because they wanted to get rid of as they called us, the undesirables. They wanted us to. I was only about probably 9 or 10. There was a few families living along there. My grandmother's house was sitting right where A&W sits today. And I often spent time with my grandma there. She had rabbit snares along there. She hunted grouse. We just did everything traditionally, even though we lived off the reserve. But anyways, the town of Smithers, as I said, called us undesirables. There was, I forget, probably a dozen families there. We never lived on a reserve because my mom and dad chose to go where there was work. I remember the day that our house burnt down. I remember it like it happened yesterday, because when you have a traumatic experience, it stays in your mind. Like I said, I remember it just like it was yesterday. I came home from school at lunchtime. My mom and my older sister and my younger brothers and sisters, we all sat around the table. And we started to have our lunch. And all of a sudden my mom goes, "Listen." And she jumped up and she ran out of the house, and we all ran out after her. And the whole side of our house was up in flames. We couldn't save it. It is believed that, and all the other houses, I don't know in what order that the houses burnt, but I do remember when our house went up in flames. And about the very last one that they burnt down was my grandmother's house. Like I said, it was sitting right where A&W is. She was in her 70s at the time, and she had to move next door. I guess there were 2 houses left, because that was her granddaughter that had a family that lived next door. So she moved in with them, and shortly after that she passed away, and I believe it was because she was heartbroken about, us all losing our homes and whatnot.
Can I ask you how the fires were started? Do you know?
To this day, I don't know. But we do believe that they have been torched by some town people. Because, like I said, they wanted to move us out of there, calling us the undesirables. They wanted to move us across the railroad tracks where it was all rocky and not it wasn't fit to live there. My dad, can I swear on this? My dad said, "What the fuck do they think we are, mountain goats?" And we just refused to move, and that's when the houses started burning one by one. It hasn't stopped. They're still trying to get rid of us here. This is our land. We want to save our clean waters, our fish, for our kids, our grandkids. So that's why I'm here. There's a book that's written by Smithers, I forget what it's called, Histories of Smithers or something like that. They interviewed us, but it wasn't very in-depth. It was kind of, small interviews here and there, and I didn't say what I wanted to say, regarding those houses being burnt down, and how we were treated when we were going to school. How we were treated by, for instance, when we got sick, my mom took us to the doctor's office. We sat in a storage room, sitting on boxes waiting to be seen by the doctors. We couldn't go in the front, in the lobby. How you say that? How disrespectful is that? We're treated like, not even like second-class citizens. And my ex-husband and I are one of the main reasons why Haggie's Cafe was open to the natives. They had a sign there, no Indians allowed. One day, this was in 1963, him and I were walking down the street and we're going by Haggie's Cafe. He said, "Let's go in for coffee." I said, "I don't want to go in there," because I knew we weren't going to be served. But my ex-husband was stubborn, and he talked me into going in there. And we sat there, and everybody looking at us like we came from outer space. And finally, my ex-husband calls the waitress over, and she said, "Just a minute." She said, "Can we have coffee?" She said, "Just a minute." She went in the back, and I seen her and another person peeking out at us. She came back. She said, "I'm sorry, I can't serve you." I was so angry at my ex-husband. I was so humiliated of us being basically thrown out of there. I went home and wrote a letter to the editor about it. And lo and behold, they printed that letter. And following that letter, we got letters of support, and we got letters of people against us. So after that door was wide open to the natives, I would say.